All right, so we are going live day 2. I'm just going to move this here so that I can see any comments as they come up here. All right. Day 2, you guys. I am so excited. I loved seeing all of those awesome, whoop, I have back feed here. Oh, there we go. I loved seeing all of those trees. Thank you for those that sent them to me privately. Thank you to those that put them underneath the last video. If you didn't have a chance to do yours yet, please do it. It's such a fun activity, and it just really helps remind you like all of these positive things that are going on in our life. As well as all the strengths that we are learning from this experience of 2020. So again, if you don't know who I am, I'm Rachel. I am a health guide. I work with a program that really focuses on just taking care of your health and nutrition, as well as taking care of your mindset within that journey. But I'm also a clinical psychologist. And so both of those are my babies right now, outside of being a mom and a wife and a friend and all that. But, what I have found is that there's just this strong need, especially right now, to focus on something other than the negative aspect of 2020. And my goal is to help people realize that there can be positive as well in your journey right now in your life, and that there's different ways to get there. So today we are going to be focusing on resiliency, building resiliency, as well as decreasing our vulnerability. So as you pop on, please say hi. Let me know you're here. If you're catching the replay, please type #replay. I would love to see who's all jumping on. Let me know if there's certain things that you like. Let me know if there's any topics that you want me to hit moving forward. I have some already planned out, but I'm so more than happy to add things in. It's just going to be, it's really informal. So just information for you guys to just focus on your mental health, focus on changing your perspective of right now, and just build that resiliency for yourself. So to talk about resiliency, what I like to share with people is that we have what are called emotions. I know, crazy emotions, right? But kind of like I talked about yesterday, there are going to be positive things that happen in our life, and there are going to be negative things that happen in our life. And based on what's going on in our life, we handle things very differently, right? So if I don't get a lot of sleep, if I didn't eat, oh man, I get hangry. And you can ask my husband, I am a hangry person if I haven't eaten. Like, he doesn't even want to be around me if I haven't eaten anything. So we can be more vulnerable to our emotions and how we respond to things based on how we're taking care of ourselves. And so there's a lot of different ways that we can take care of ourselves. And so today I'm just kind of going to give an overview of that, but don't you worry. The next few days, I actually have all of these different areas covered in different ways by different people. So I have some guest speakers coming over the next few days that are going to really talk more about each specific area. So again, we all have emotions, and within our emotions, if we look at it like a mountain, down here it's a 0, and all the way up here is a 10. And if this was like a volcano, right, that's usually where things explode, okay? And so, hold on here. I'm gonna do this a little different here. Okay, I'm gonna do this here. All right, so on our scale of 0 to 10, right, when we are at a 0, there are no emotions. Chill, happy, right? 10, a lot of emotions. So what happens on a day-to-day, our day-to-day, things are going well, we probably hang out in our emotion area more around like a 3. 3 or 4, right? A little anxiety is normal. Some sadness is normal, you know, especially whatever's going on in our life. Emotions are normal. We have them for a reason, right? What happens though, if we're going through stressors, aka a pandemic, where we're not able to be around people, or social distance or distance learning, right? Things, when those things happen, it amps up our vulnerability level. So then maybe we're hanging around like a 6 day to day, right? So our emotions are at a higher intensity. Well, on a day that our emotions are at a lower intensity, we can manage a lot of things. Like if something happened, like my car broke down and I'm hanging here, well, it's going to go up, or I'm going to have some emotions, but it's only hitting like a 7. Whereas if I just found out that my kid has to now be all online and then my car breaks down, well, I'm probably at a 10 right away. Okay. So my goal for today is really to focus on how we can start bringing our vulnerability levels down so that when something big does happen, we're not hitting a 10 right away. Okay. So when you're trying to think of like how can you bring your vulnerabilities down, I'm sure there's people out there that are probably like, yeah, that would be great, except for I have this and 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 this. How, you're telling me, Rachel, that I can like decrease that like overall stress level? Well, yeah, you can. It's hard. I'm not saying that this is an easy thing, but it is possible. And so when we are decreasing our distress level, we're looking at a bunch of different things. So I will show you this. So this is a jar and it has markers. And I'm sorry if you guys are messaging on here. I'm finding that nothing is popping up. So if people are messaging, I apologize if I can't see what you're saying. But oops. So if we have a jar, and this is what I have to give, right? So this has been it's been a good day, and my jar is full. It's full of markers, and my friend says, "Hey, Rach, can you help? I have this to do." I'm like, "Yep, I can help you out. Here you go," and I give them a marker, right? Well, the nice thing is that I have a lot of markers left, so like overall, I'm still good. I'm still cool as a cucumber, right? And then, you know, someone else needs something, and so I help them out in this, right? Or I have to give my attention to my kiddo to help them set up their online learning. And then, you know, things keep happening, right? Well, eventually, you know, the more and more I do, the less I have to pull from, right? So now someone else needs something, right? And I have 2 things left that are positive to pull from, right? My jar is getting really empty and I'm burning myself out. And so what happens is if we're burning ourselves out and we don't have anything to give, when someone needs something and I have nothing left to give, it gets way overwhelming, right? So the less I have in my jar to give, if people want something or something stressful happens, I don't have anything to pull from. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to fill this jar. We want to make sure that you have some positives to pull from so that when negative things are happening, your resiliency is higher and your ability to manage stress is higher. Okay. So what are some things that we can fill our jar with? As you guys think about that, I'm going to see here online. So I want you to think, and I want you to start typing in, I want you to start typing in this, on the comments, what are some things that we can do to fill this jar? You guys start thinking about that. Okay. So some things that we can do to fill this jar is we can think about sleep, right? Am I getting enough sleep? Now, if you're me, probably not. That is one of my downfalls. But that's a choice that I make every night when I decide what time I want to go to bed. And so one thing that I could do for myself is I could start making sure I go to bed at a decent time, right? So that's going to fill my jar. If I get more rest, I'm going to be less vulnerable. Another thing I can think about is my nutrition. So one thing, as I said before, nutrition is big to me. I'm a health guide. I help people out. I help them with their nutrition. I help them figuring out with the program, like what would help them to have all the energy that they need during the day, right? If we're not taking care of our nutrition, we are way more vulnerable to our emotions. I know that if I eat too much sugar, I am so lethargic the next day. I don't feel good. I get like a sugar hangover and I'm not my best. So nutrition is a big thing, taking care of your nutrition. Medication. If there's certain medications that help you feel better, it's important to make sure that you're talking to your doctor and taking that. Like my iron is usually lower, and so I have to take medication for iron. Otherwise, I feel really fatigued and my muscles hurt. So that is something that I have to make sure that I'm taking what I need for medication so that I'm at my best. Or like allergies, if I'm not taking my allergy medication, I am so foggy and whatnot, and I don't function at a level that's great if I'm foggy. Again, you guys, add in if there's anything that you think is important for you to fill your jar, add it in. Like, what are some things that you need to have more positive in your life? Okay, so comment below. I want to see those things. I want you guys to help each other out and come up with different things. So another thing that's really important is exercise, like getting movement in your day. We're not creatures that are meant to be sedentary. We are not meant to sit around. And so it's important to get in like 20 minutes of movement in a day. And that could just be a 20-minute walk, right? So our body needs to move around because that helps our oxygen levels, that helps our blood flow. And so that just helps us and it helps our body. So movement is super important. Exercise can be really important and make us feel better, right? Staying away from substances, right? Like feels great in the moment, but then what happens afterwards is usually most substances have an after effect that makes us feel worse. And oftentimes if our inhibitions are down, we make choices that we don't make us feel better in the long run anyway. So I actually have someone talking on Friday about that, ways to cope and ways to get through if substances are something that is making you more vulnerable to your emotions. It feels like when we having a drink at night, it's like, oh, this is helping me relax. But really in the long run, if you're not taking care of yourself and you're not working on what's really causing you that stress, it's not helping you in the long run. So some things to think about. Again, I have someone that specializes in that way more than me on Friday. I'm so excited. So taking care of all of those areas of your health are important, but also putting in positive experiences. Are you working too much? If you're working too much and you tell me, Rachel, I work too much, I have to work, I'm gonna say, no, you don't have to. And my husband is probably gonna laugh and be like, eat your own words, Rachel. I love working. That is actually one of my passions. I love family time and I love working and I love being with friends. Working actually really fulfills me. And so for me, it feels very different because it's not a huge stressor for me. But for others, if it's a stressor, you have to take a break from work. And I have to take breaks from work as well. Okay, it's super important to take those breaks. So watch a favorite TV show. Like really watch a favorite TV show. Put your stuff away, put your work away, and actually sit down and watch. And again, this is something that I can continue to work on as well. When you add these positive things, these positive experiences, play a game with your kids, reach out to someone, go on Zoom with them, talk with them, get a project done around your house, learn a new activity, right? All of these things will start building up this cup again so that if something happens, if something negative happens, it's only taking one marker out and you have all of these other things to hold on to make you more resilient to all of these stressors that are happening. Okay, so again, we are going to talk more about all those different areas. I have 2 people that are talking about self-care and how they relate to self-care. I'm so excited about that because I think everyone does self-care in a different way. And so I'm excited to have two different people share their perspective. But I want you to start writing in this comment. That is your homework for tonight. Write down here what you need to do to start filling this cup, or what are things that you do to put more positive in your life. Take a break. Take a break from your stressors in a healthy way, like a positive experience, something that's really positive and fun. If you take a break, you're more likely to be successful and you're more likely to be efficient with your time. They actually have done a lot of studies on that. If you push yourself too hard without taking a break, you're less efficient. And so you can probably get more work done if you actually give yourself 15-minute breaks here and there and really disconnect. So let me know below, what do you need to fill your cup to be more resilient to your emotions? All right. Tomorrow I am bringing in one of my friends. She is going to talk about different books and activities that you can incorporate into your family time. Some books for emotions to help your kids that are struggling right now with emotions, but also some books that can help keep them occupied so that if you need some time for yourself, you can take some time for yourself, or you can be creative with them. So I'm excited to have Jenny on tomorrow at 12, and I'll put a reminder up on my page. But I'm just so excited to see what everyone has or what everyone shares to fill their cup. I hope everyone has a wonderful night.